Hey everybody, this is James Hernandez. How you all doing? And welcome back to one of my horror movie review videos. So before we start this review, I just want to announce you guys that that I'm not feeling too well. I'm not saying that I'm sick or anything. It's just I'm kind of having some allergies. So in case if you guys are wondering why am I sniffing or I might cough in this video, which I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna cough in this video, but just to let you know, if my voice sounds a little too funny, or if I'm sniffing, that's because I'm having some allergies, and I deeply apologize for that. But I'm gonna do this video as the best as I can. So yeah, so I just want to let you guys know that I also had a really good happy birthday. I'm 28 years old now. So without further ado, let's start this review. So for this horror movie I'm going to review is I'm going to be reviewing one of John Carpenter's classic films, and that is Halloween. That's right, I'm reviewing the original Halloween from 1978. So Halloween is a 1978 slasher horror film directed by the legendary John Carpenter, and this movie stars Donald Pleasence, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Nick Castle. So this movie begins with the opening sequence where a young Michael Myers goes upstairs to kill his sister Judith when he was 6 years old. And that is probably because his sister didn't take him to go trick-or-treating instead of hanging out with her boyfriend. So she basically just stabbed her sister multiple times. And then comes to 15 years later, Michael Myers escaped from the psychiatric hospital. Hope I'm saying it right. And now that Dr. Lumis is on a hunt to get Michael Myers when he realizes that Michael has escaped. And then we had cut down to Haddonfield, which we were introduced to Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, as she is walking into the neighborhood of Haddonfield when she's on her way to school. And then we were also introduced to her friends. We got Linda and Annie. So as the whole film begins, Michael Myers is starting to stalk at one of the babysitters, and then now Michael Myers is stalking on Laurie Strode, which we don't know why. And now we've seen Dr. Lumis, and he is on the hunt to track down Michael Myers and defeat him from killing all those people. So the first time I watched this movie is where I got this DVD on my birthday. I don't know what year it was, but I was given this by my aunt. She gave me this DVD for my birthday, and I was a huge fan of this movie. So when I watched it, what do I think? Still to this day, I still think this movie is an absolute classic. Now, there are some parts in this movie where I felt like it doesn't age awesomely well, but it's still a classic movie to this day. So let's start talking about, let's start with the characters. Let's talk about Donald Pleasence as Dr. Lumis. Now, Dr. Lumis is the doctor that tries to help Michael Myers when he was in this crazy mental hospital. And he tries his best to have Michael Myers, stay in the mental hospital because of all the crimes that he committed when he was 6 years old. And Michael has never been saying a word. So when Dr. Lumis heard that Michael Myers was on the loose, about 15 years later, when Michael Myers was an adult, then Dr. Lumis has to track him down, and probably has to put an end to him once and for all from killing other people. So, and he really is a really good character in this movie, and he is one of the most iconic characters in the history of horror. And I really love his line right here is when he talks about Michael Myers and how he describes him.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up, because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
That line alone, for what he just said, is what makes him an iconic character, and he tells us the story of what makes Michael Myers such a threatening foe in the slasher genre. And he is like such a scary psychopath, and you want Dr. Loomis to hunt him down, and you root for him. And now, speaking of rooting, let's talk about Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode. Now, I'm not sure if this was her first film debut in her career in her life, but she is her character Laurie Strode in this movie is this typical teenage girl that that does what she has to do. Like she goes to class, and she also brought the jack-o'-lantern so she can babysit this kid named Tommy. And then she's really not interested in boys. All she does is that she has to do what she's got to do, like, go to class, and then has to babysit Tommy, during Halloween. And then she is just like such a likable character, and she is like the final girl that you really do root for, just like how you root for Dr. Loomis in this movie. And when she gets like chased by Michael Myers throughout the third act of the climax of this movie, it's horrifying, because when she discovers that her two best friends were murdered by Michael Myers, when she was pretty curious of what's been going on with her friends, when she goes to the house across the street and she sees like one of the dead bodies, and then she is starting to get really scared, and then she was being attacked and being chased by Michael Myers. And when Michael Myers was chasing after Laurie, it's really horrifying, because Michael does takes his time to catch up to her. And then like nobody was like helping Laurie when she was like screaming for help. And then she was like tapping on the door to call Tommy to open the door, when she saw that Michael Myers is coming faster as possible. So then Jamie Lee Curtis really carries the flick in this movie, and much like with the other final girls like Nancy Thompson from A Nightmare on Elm Street, as well as Sidney Prescott from Scream, she is the final girl that you root for, and she is also iconic. Jamie Lee Curtis did such a good job with her performance in this movie. I really do enjoy her character, and she is like the character that you can relate to, you can root for, and you really want her to escape from Michael Myers. And there are times where she does fight back Michael Myers, but not as much as not as badass as she was in Halloween H2O, which I'm going to be perfectly clear, where I felt like H2O would have been a great ending to the Halloween franchise. But speaking of Michael Myers, let's talk about Michael Myers himself. Now, Michael Myers in this movie is an iconic villain. He is such a scary slasher villain, where he wears like a white face mask that looks like what's his name? William Shatner. Yeah, he has like the face of William Shatner, and when he comes after you, and when you see him, and when he's like stalking, it's so scary. And he has like no motivation of like why he kills people. He has like no reason. Even when he was like 6 years old, he has like no motivation or reason why he killed his sister. There was no like, oh, he drowned in a lake, or he had a dysfunctional family, or maybe his sister treats him like crap, or he never gets a girlfriend in his life. None of those. He just do that just because he was evil. He just snapped. And that's what makes him scary. Now, I know some people can argue saying that, the reason why Michael killed his sister is because his sister didn't take him to go trick-or-treating instead of hanging out with her boyfriend, which I'm like, yeah, I guess so. That's one specific reason. But aside from that, he has no other reason, but like he has like this darkness like inside him, and then the look on his face is what makes him like, it makes us feel that he is going to snap one day. And when he snapped, that's what makes him scary. And he's such a silent type that Michael never says a word. It's not like with Freddy Krueger, Chucky, or sometimes Ghostface, where they actually do speak. And it's not like Leatherface, where he would just grunt, act like a kid. But Michael is such a silent type. And when he comes after you, and then the way how he kills, you can tell that he is absolutely scary. he's also like one of the scariest slasher villains I've ever seen in a horror film. There's a tons of like other slasher villains I thought were terrifying, like Freddy Krueger, Jason, Ghostface, Chucky, Michael Myers, not Mike Myers, Leatherface, sorry. But yeah, like just like those slasher villains, Michael Myers is such like a iconic villain in the horror movie universe. And when you see Michael Myers, he is like an icon of the slasher genre. So yeah, and I heard that Michael Myers was played by several different actors. I don't know if that's like 100% confirmed, but we all know that Nick Castle is the actor who plays Michael Myers, or by the end credits, he is known as The Shape. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, Nick Castle, he is wonderful as Michael Myers. I thought he did a good job being like one of the most scariest stalking slasher villains in Haddonfield. And yeah, he's scary. He did a good job. Now let's talk about the other characters. And you have Laurie's friends. You have Linda. Linda, I don't have a lot to say about her other than she is just a ditzy blonde, and she kept saying totally way too much, which it gets like really kind of obnoxious. But like, and then like she's been like hanging out with her boyfriend Bob, and then she and Bob got killed by Michael Myers after when they got busy. And that's how it happens like in every slasher movie. And then you have Annie. She is also one of Laurie's friends, and much like with Linda, I don't have a lot to say about her. She, other than that, she is one of Laurie's friends, and then she was about to go meet Paul, I think that's his name. And then when she goes into the car, she actually got grabbed, and she actually got grabbed behind by Michael Myers. And then what Michael did is that he slit her throat in the car, and that was makes you go like, oop, uh-oh. Yeah, Michael is he's on the loose, and he starts killing all these babysitters. Watch out. And what else? Also, we got to see the kids. We got like Tommy, and then we got Lindsay, I think that's her name. Yeah. Not a lot to say I can say about these two kids. Like I think they're just kind of there. Like they don't really have like a huge history or a huge like development of who they are, other than they're just kids. But like Tommy and Lindsay are the kids that Laurie babysits. And then they were also being targeted by Michael Myers when Michael was chasing Laurie after when Michael killed her friends. And then Dr. Lumis is chasing, well, not chasing, like when he saw the car that Michael was driving, he has to go after him, and then he warns the police officer that Michael is here. So, yeah. But now let's talk about the kills. Now, the kills in this movie is not as bloody or as graphic as some of the other slasher films, because this movie is not really like a bloody, gory slasher film, because the way how Michael Myers like kills people is not like that violent, which I felt like this movie could have got like into more of like a PG-13 rating. Something like other PG-13 horror movies, or even just movies in general. But my favorite kill in this movie has to be is when Michael kills Linda's boyfriend Bob, when Bob hears a noise, and then he was like, all right, come out, and then he opens the door, and then Michael Myers grabs Bob by his throat, and then he basically just like stab him like once with his butcher knife. And then he pretty much just like hangs like by the door shed, I guess, like by the closet that kind of looks like a Halloween decoration. And that scene and that shot alone actually became like an internet meme of like like hanging like Halloween decorations, like getting ready for Halloween or something. So yeah, that was actually my favorite kill in the movie. The kills are, some of the other kills were also mostly off screen when Michael was on the loose throughout the beginning of the movie. And then like when Michael kills Annie and Linda, he doesn't really like go like, you know, like stab, stab, stab or anything. He just uses like his bare hands to like choke them or something, like choking them, and then he just like strangle them to death, which is scary. Which he kind of reminds me of like of Agent 47 from the Hitman franchise. And when Michael hides the dead bodies, it's scary. And then you see him like carrying the dead body when he kills Annie in the car. So now as for the climax of this movie, yeah, like when Laurie went to the house across the street because she was feeling a bit curious of like what's going on with her friends, and the whole house is like so dark and it's so desertive, like everything is empty, you don't hear anything else. But when she enters the bedroom and then she sees Annie's corpse as well as the tombstone of Judith Myers, she starts to freak out. Excuse me. She starts to freak out, and then she starts to freak out even worse when she sees the dead bodies of Bob and Linda, and then she gets attacked by Michael Myers, and then she gets chased by him, and then she has to warn the kids that they have to go across the street. Well, not across the street. You have to like go to another house to call the police, and then Dr. Loomis sees the two kids running out, and then as soon as Michael was about to kill Laurie just by choking her, Dr. Loomis came to the rescue just in time, and then he shot Michael Myers like 6 times, and then Michael Myers fell off the balcony after when he got shot again by Dr. Loomis. And then Laurie asks Dr. Loomis what was the boogeyman, and then Dr. Loomis says, as a matter of fact, it was. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. So when Dr. Loomis went back to the scene, not the scene, like the spot where he shot Michael Myers and he fell, he realized that Michael Myers is gone. And then this movie ends on a cliffhanger when you see every single location of the whole movie when you hear Michael Myers breathing with this iconic Halloween theme song that plays. And that's the end of the film. So yeah, this movie does end on a cliffhanger, and I still think this movie is actually one of my favorite horror films. It's also one of the best Halloween films in the series. There were some things I kind of don't like. Like I felt like some of the dialogue is a bit is a kind of bad, but I guess it makes sense. But other than that, like I thought the kills were not like too amazing or too graphic or as like some of the other slasher films, but this movie does a really good job of making Michael Myers a scary slasher villain, and I think Nick Castle did a really good job playing Michael Myers, and Donald Pleasence and Jamie Lee Curtis did an excellent job as Dr. Loomis and Laurie Strode, one of the most iconic characters in the Halloween franchise other than just Michael Myers himself. And I think John Carpenter did a really good job behind the camera in this movie. I got to give praise to John Carpenter for this, and I got to give praise to everybody in this movie that did such a good job. So, yeah, so on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give John Carpenter's Halloween a 9.7 out of 10. This is still a classic. There were some issues I kind of have, but other than that, this movie is still a classic. So if you guys have not seen this movie, get your butt off the couch, go get this movie, go buy it, and go watch it. I recommend it. So guys, that's my review for John Carpenter's Halloween. Have you guys seen it? What you guys think of it? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? I will love to hear your thoughts. So let me know in the comments below. And feel free to subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and turn on the notifications. And I'm almost there to reach up to 180 subscribers. Thank you so much, guys, for being supportive to me, being supportive to my channel. And I'm going to be doing some other like horror movie videos. I think the next one I'm going to be doing is I'm going to show you guys my my horror movie DVD and Blu-ray collection, since I haven't really been doing a DVD Blu-ray collection video ever since I did my anime DVD and Blu-ray collection. So the next video I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys my horror movie DVD and Blu-ray collection. So yeah, that's all I got to say. So Hope you guys enjoy my review for John Carpenter's Halloween, and I'll see you guys next time, along with Michael Myers, Laurie Strode, and Dr. Lumis. And this is James Hernandez, signing out.
Halloween, the night he came home.